So in today's webinar, we continue to answer applicants' question on the upcoming season 2021 in view of the COVID-19 situation. There are many of you who are stuck in home countries, unable to get to the US, unable to get US clinical experience. So what type of experiences may be useful in these times? What type of LORs should you be using? Can you use the older US clinical experience LORs, or should you be focusing on the home country LORs? What about the exam delays? How will that impact the application? So many of these questions we answered today. Hopefully, you will find the answers that you are looking for. And we understand these are stressful times, a lot of uncertainties because of the COVID situation. So our hope is to be able to get these answers to you. We'll do these webinars frequently so you can join our group, and we'll answer your questions regularly both on Telegram as well as in some of these sessions. So share this video with others who may find it useful. And as always, good luck for the match. Thank you all of you for joining. We wanted to have this session in case you guys had any match related questions for the upcoming season. So I thought we'll just get it going. And for those of you who don't know who we are, what we do, we pretty much help in all phases of the USMLE journey, starting probably with electives, externships, USCE, now with application, personal statement, program outreach, and then interview preparation, post-interview communication, and so. So we've been doing it for about 6 years now. We do it through classes. We have a closed community on Telegram, and of course we have mentorship as well. So look up our website. We have had spectacular results, 32 countries, match rate of over 87%. It's all on our website. You can visit there. And here are some other details if you need to get in touch. We also run a Facebook group, as many of you are aware. So now I will just get started with some of the questions I received, and you hopefully can also chat, type, and we'll get your questions here. Most of the questions obviously relate to the current situation and the COVID-19. So one of the questions we received was 2015 graduate, 240s in step 1, 230s in CK, but the 2 or 3 rotations that were done were way back in 2015 and 2016. One was in private clinic. What are the chances to match with this profile? And can they get rotations now? Now the issue, COVID situation makes it very, very different this year. If you have only this profile and you're not able to get any more rotations now, with this profile, internal medicine is harder if you don't have recent LORs. Okay, so internal medicine with this profile will be harder unless you can get fresh LORs, fresh rotations. And how do you do this, right? So one of the things could be, assuming the lockdown opens and you can actually do rotations, then come here as soon as possible. Try to get 2 or 3 recent rotations. So it could be July, August, or maybe middle of September as well. The other way to do it in this situation is going to be your tele rotations. Many locations are giving out tele rotations. These are private clinics, obviously. Hospital rounds have been cancelled. So if you can do tele rotations, you can improve on this profile. The third thing I would mention in this profile, and if you're looking to improve it, would be research. Again, in a typical situation, typical season, students would do research, physical location, say they would join as a research scholar at Hopkins and things like that, Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, but that's not possible. A lot of them have delayed hiring people. If you can do remote research, case reports, case series, You can do your own analysis. Few databases are available. You can work with your attendings, of course, where you rotated to get more of data and maybe do a case report. So doing some of remote research, maybe some of tele research would be, or tele rotation would be the way to go if you're not getting any other rotations. Some other questions that I saw on the WhatsApp group: electives LOR versus observership LOR. In general, elective LORs are very powerful because they were done when you were a student, complete hands-on, and typically at a good institute. Very powerful in terms of a recommendation. Observership LORs may not be that powerful. They tend to be more of a shadowing. A lot of programs don't consider it as any rotation, but it depends. We'll have to review the quality. Again, in general, recent LORs are more powerful, stronger than older LOR. In case you don't have recent US LORs, if you're working in your home country, you should try to get as recent LORs as possible. US LOR for within last 1 year is still okay. Anything beyond that tends to be older, and the value goes down. The other question which I saw was, what can I do LOR from the last season? So obviously, as soon as the token becomes available, you should be able to use those LORs. At this point, you don't need to do anything. Don't need to worry about it. And you can pretty much, when the token opens, you can use the last year's LOR. You can chat. If you have video capabilities, I'm happy to answer. If you want to talk as well, you should be able to use your speakers. How do we choose between prelim versus categorical programs? What are the pros and cons? That's an excellent question, Alex. So prelim programs are typically, for those specialties that need advanced training. For example, it could be neurology, it could be radio, it could be ortho, derm, general surgery, and all that. So prelim, transitional, that 1 year training. If you apply for a prelim program, the first thing they look for is, what is your story? Why are you applying to a prelim transitional kind of a program? So if you have research in neurology or radio, etc., then it becomes a logical kind of application. The other thing is, a lot of IMGs have very strong categorical kind of CVs. So categorical IM, FM, pediatrics, so on and so forth. So in such cases, prelim applications become, their prelim application is not that strong. Okay. So prelim, it depends on your interest. B, if you're a recent graduate, then it becomes easier. Okay, because you can then say that I'm exploring my interest in this specialty. The other factor to consider is visa. If you're a visa seeking IMG and you match in prelim or transitional, but you don't match in the categorical because you have to apply separately, then it becomes a big issue. Okay, so consider what your long-term goals are in terms of categorical versus which specialty. Consider your visa situation, and then decide whether you want to apply for prelim. A lot of times you will see prelim positions in SOAP or other ways, they go unfilled, and a lot of IMGs think getting into prelim and the transitional year is easier. It may be slightly easier, but again, even these people look for your profile. Next question: how much does an attempt in step 2 CK affect your match chances? Any attempt, especially step 1 CK or CS for that matter, is a red flag, right? However, we have had students every year, believe me, every year they can match, they have matched with any of these attempts. What you will find it hard is if you are in internal medicine and you want to match in a university program. So that's kind of hard. So first is which specialty, right? So other specialties are slightly more relaxing on scores, FM, things like that. you will be able to match with an attempt. Even in IM, you can match with an attempt. What you will need to do is some of the other things. So, for example, if you are working in research, research is always going to help you overcome the attempt. It could be more of rotations. So, next question, is it a good idea to apply this year as it is uncertain that flights will be operating? Is there any chance interview may be online? So, first question, is it a good idea to apply this year? Yes. As long as the season is on, you should apply. There's no point in wasting a year. Unless you apply, you cannot match. So you should apply regardless of whether you can do rotations, you can fly or not fly. If the flights are not operating, a lot of programs will go for online interviews. Okay. In fact, just last week, there were a couple of programs who were trying to fill positions. They did it online. This could be the new normal. You may have to go in for online interviews. I don't think you should, just delay your application because that's not recommended. It is a global situation. It is happening to everyone. So there's no point in delaying your application. Will the LORs from clinic work for this match? Since all universities have shut down their observership program. So how this works is, the quality of LOR this year is going to be much more important. Obviously, the branded LORs from the hospitals and universities for say March onwards are not there, so you will not be able to get it. So try to get into clinics that are affiliated with the hospitals, so at least you can get those letterheads. If not, get the clinic LOR, get your home country LOR. If you are in your home country, work. Home country LORs today are going to be very, very powerful. You're all physicians. You should be working, especially in this COVID-19 situation. So yes, in this season, maybe clinic-based LORs, they will consider. If we apply only with home country LORs without any US LORs, ideally not, of course. It is not expected that you did all your rotations only between March and September. So first thing is that situation is expected to improve at least in June, July. So you should be able to get some rotations, some recent rotations. Second, you should be able to do probably some tele rotations. But if nothing is possible and you haven't done anything, you can try with home country LORs this year, and you can see. It is very hard to say how programs will look at only home country application. But of course, if you cannot get US experience, probably it's a good idea to apply. I always feel applying is better than not applying, and even if it is with the home country LORs. Due to COVID-19, step tests have been much affected, especially CS. What is your opinion on how this affects match process? So again, a good question. When it comes to the test, so I think what will happen this year is programs will be more lenient. They'll be more lax with you guys, and probably even without CS, they may only consider step 1 and CK to invite you guys. I don't think any other communication has come out. I don't think that CS this year they will say that we don't require CS. I think CS will still be required. I think ECFMG certification will still be required before the rank order list deadline. It's just that you guys will have probably some more time as they get you as they get over the COVID-19 and they tell you, you will have more time. So yes, you may have more time with CS. I think if the situation is such that the CS results are delayed, you can plan to apply on time without CS, assuming September 15 is still there and that is not impacted. If we don't get any recent rotations, should we upload USLORs or doing them will harm our chances? if we don't get any recent rotations, so it depends. If you don't get any recent rotations, you have to assess how strong the non-US LOR is. If you're a recent graduate, non-US home country LOR will be very, very impactful. If you are actually working in a, say, a branded hospital and a huge facility and tackling COVID-19 or some of those things, yes, home country LORs will be very, very useful. In such scenario, it's always a good idea to mix and match. So you are allowed 4 LORs to be assigned to programs. Probably what you can do is 1 or 2 US LORs, which may be a year old probably, and then 2 recent LORs. Am I considered old graduate or new if I completed my graduation in 2016 and doing my master's now in India? So most programs will consider up to 3 years of graduation. So now we're talking 2021 start. So July 2021 is when you start your residency. So for most programs, 2018 is the cutoff for new and old. So anyone graduating before 2018 is kind of more than 3 years. Between 3 to 5 years, the window, or most programs have a very different way of looking at things. More than 5 years is almost everywhere they will say you are an older graduate. So I think you are on the borderline with 2016. Many programs will invite only up to 3 years graduation. Many programs, and I'm talking MBBS, right, not your masters, and many programs will also go up to 5 years. So it depends. US Masters has more value. Obviously, it helps you overcome it. I'm not sure what Masters you're doing in India. If that is a home country residency, then it is much more powerful. It can help you overcome your year of graduation. So I don't know what old US LORs means. How many year old, what all that is. Hard to say what is an old US LOR. Anything more than, let's say a 2018 LOR or before that is now old. So if you have old LORs, they may not be as useful as, recent home country work experience LORs. I came to do my observerships, but everything got cancelled and I cannot go back to my home country since the flights are not available. So I got stuck here. Can you give me some insights about how I can make this time useful? So yes, so there are a lot of students in such situation. What you can do is a couple of things. There are tele-rotations, so you can always do some tele-rotations. You can actually also volunteer if that is available in the region where you are in the US. Every city, every state is looking for volunteers. In fact, New York, New Jersey especially, but almost every state is looking for volunteering. So you can do some volunteering. This is also a good time to reach out to the attendings where you may have rotated earlier and look for some case reports, look for some help that you can provide. They are not going to hire you. I think at this point hiring in research is closed, but maybe at an individual level they can help you with research. But yeah, do tele-rotations, do research if you can with some of those attendings. Volunteering is always going to help. Probably step 3 preparation, but that's on your own time, so that won't count as a productive time. I am doing my general surgery at my home country, planning to move to IM in US. Will it affect my match if I showed MS in my application? No, actually, home country residency, I think you said you're doing it in India. Home country residency from India in general surgery is going to be very, very powerful. You should be easily able to match in internal medicine. The trick is you need to be able to complete it. How to find tele-rotations? There are expensive tele-rotations. We also have a few tele-rotations on our website. You can look it up. You can do it from there. It is slightly cheaper, I think, but that's for you to decide. But tele-rotations are becoming available. A lot of even AMGs have had to do tele-rotations because hospitals have just cancelled it. I am in a graduate program now. Should the LORs better all come from clinicians? Will LORs from research professors help? If you are in a US graduate program, yes, LOR from your graduate program, at least one, will definitely help. US graduate degree is a very powerful degree. Will the new H-1B regulations affect the upcoming match process? Unlikely. H-1B is anyway very limited in the residency. So, it is going to be a J visa only. I don't think H-1 regulation is going to affect match process. And in any case, if you're talking of all those immigration related aspects, it is a temporary thing, and healthcare workers are not subject to that. So I don't think the H-1 regulations will impact the match at all. Are these organizations reliable who provide these services? I cannot comment on the reliability. We don't work with them. We have, we directly send our students to the physicians. You pay the physicians directly. So I cannot comment on their reliability. Right now, if you do online CMEs and certificate, will that help? Online certificates, online courses don't really help. What helps is how you apply that knowledge, whether it is to a research project, to anything else. So online CMEs are not going to help you get interviews. Volunteer work like contact tracing here in the US, will it help boost my CV? Something is always better than nothing. Volunteer work will not be able to get you the interview, but it will help you during the interview. You can talk about how you give back to the community. Contact tracing is one of the more recent things that has come up. Everyone is working on it. Google, Facebook, even in India, I mean, they have an app now that can help you contact tracing. So, yeah, I mean, why not, right? And I know many of my students are also maybe in the same project. Couple of universities have started this contact tracing research. So it'll be useful, better than not doing anything. Sahil is saying how to choose between J1 and H1B programs. I want to do fellowship in cardiology. And if we do residency in H1B, it becomes difficult to match in fellowship. Most of them offer J1. Process of change from H1 to J is not preferred by some programs. And so let me tell you how this all works, right? At this point, it is too early to choose between H1 and J1 programs. So my recommendation is, as an IMG who needs visa, you apply broadly. Okay, let's apply first. Let's see where all you get the interviews. Go to the interviews during the rank order list, which is in December or January. Then you can come to this decision H1 versus J1. But if you come to that decision, you are absolutely right that if you want to do fellowship, it is easier to do it on a J1B, or I'm sorry, on a J1 visa. It is not that in cardiology you cannot get H1. I mean, a lot of my students from Cook County, for example, have gone to various facilities, various programs to do cardiology on H1. So it is possible, but yes, your options are very limited. And yes, you're also right that conversion of H1 to J1 from residency to fellowship is going to be very hard. But you should wait on these and decide this only in December based on where you get the interviews. Parvez is saying, I did MBBS 2004, MD in general medicine 2018. I migrated last month to US with a green card. Any chance of matching? Yes, you have a good chance of matching. Step 1 and CK in 210. So obviously scores, I don't know. So you can match with a green card. Of course, you have a home country residency. It'll depend on which specialty and things like that. You could not clear CS, so I'm assuming there's an attempt there. match is possible. We actually had a student of 2000, yes, 2000 year of graduation. She matched this year, so she had a 20-year YOG, right? But she still matched. So match is possible. Green card makes it easier. It's just, may take a bit longer. I may need to analyze your CV a bit more, but yes, it is not a absolutely gone case. You can match. All right, guys, hopefully this answered all your questions. And so if you have questions, of course, we will be on WhatsApp and we can take it later on as well. But all the best for your upcoming season. I know this is a difficult one, but yeah, we will be there to help in the open group, as well as, if you're interested in our services, you can always contact us. All right. So have a good weekend, all of you.